Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are coming back at you, giving you an update here on SS1-1. How is everything going? There is still fighting that's happening, and it is bananas. So we're going to give you a quick update on what the lay of the land is, state of affairs, where are the new battlefronts, what has happened. Again, there's been, kind of pushes from both sides. Still, what at least seems to be kind of semi-leaning in TA's favor, at least at first glance. We're going to, again, do a little bit of assessment and see how, right, the one side of the union is looking, and then we're going to take a look at the other side, right? And again, you're seeing a little bit of a fight here. We got OFUX. I don't know if I saw some people from PoS there, unless I'm tripping. But this definitely is an opportunity here. Actually, maybe we'll hang out here for a sec before we go and give you a little bit of the lay of the land. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell if you want to join and be a part of our conversation. Head up to the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description right down below. Yeah, so this actually isn't bad, right? So you got some of the range players from OFUX, right, attacking initially some of the TA players there on the edge. We got full sword going in with Nika. Ooh, look at that. UT Cake running the Nika Madeline. We got on the opposite side Bull Sword running the kind of next best, right? In that case, kind of going Nika Garwood, right? If you're trying to go kind of off tank for your comp build. And typically in those situations, if you're running that, you would usually run, if you want to do a little bit more damage, right, you're running Nika primary, so that way you could probably dive a little bit more into her tree, rather than kind of going Garwood's tree, which is a little more tank predominant. A little bit of a, I guess what seemed to be kind of stalemate disengage. Actually, this was pretty well played here from OFUX, at least from what we just saw. It looks as though as Ray pushed, OFUX backed up a little bit, and then they engaged on the front line, on that front line tank there from TA, attacked, and again saved quite a bit of their troops. That's how it looked. And if so, that was a pretty good heads-up play, right? I like this from Naraka, how Naraka's just trying to, like, kind of flank and just, again, try to pull some troops away. This actually isn't a bad play, and I actually really like this. Here's a good example, right? Naraka seeing the 5-on-1. Ooh, dude, I like that, man. This is the type of play that if I'm watching someone who's just kind of wanting to kind of rogue it up a little bit and be a little bit more of a disruptor, this is what I love seeing. I love the micro play here that we just saw. And again, this is it, man. This is where you kind of start getting into more of your high-level roles that you can play when you're on the field. It also seems as though he's either, it almost feels like he's invested on the mobility tree here. Now, I can't see if he's running, it almost looks like he's running pure cav flying. Again, I'm going to have to look because he's got 4 marches here. I think I see archers in 1, but to me it feels like it almost feels like he's taken mobility, right? Which this to me is interesting because if you're basically taking like all the mobility talents that you can on a tree, then it really gives you the best opportunity to disengage and then also engage when you can find those outliers. And I wonder if that's something that we might see in the meta, because it is something I've actually considered, right? Because when you think about it, right, being kind of a step ahead, having good positioning, so you're not getting caught off guard, being able to engage and disengage quickly can really make the difference when it comes to saving your troops and then basically choosing and taking favorable fights. Now, yes, you may not necessarily be as strong, right, where you might lose some percentage points here and there. I like how Naraka, right, again, looking for the opportunity. This is pretty smart here, right, from what I'm seeing. Obviously, it doesn't look like he wants to take a pure fight, but this is really the situation where if he's going to do this, the recommendation, ooh, wow, so he's actually engaging. I would have waited. If Dada was going to come over and Peppa, right, ooh, dude, that was a nice Shadow Games hit there from Immortal. Dude, talk about doing a bunch of damage. Ooh, at least kill the Emrys, and then you can disengage from there. Or pull in Dada and then let the US guys flank, right? So this is the thing, right? I actually think the coordination here could have been a little better. Ooh, that might have been a counter Shadow Games, ooh, and then a back-to-back Shadow Games going on there. So Naraka hits his, and then Immortal hits his, or I'm sorry, maybe Riven hit his there. That was actually pretty smooth. Acid Breath coming down from Immortal, that's getting dropped. Another Shadow Games coming down from one of his other players. He is just tearing these troops here from Naraka apart. A little bit of assistance there from Riven. Looks like the battle going on there with Immortal and Riven got cleaned up against some more OFUX players that are coming in. And, right, man, this is the thing, man. This is the opportunity for them to coordinate. And that's the thing, man. It does make me feel, because and let me point out a few things, right? I would love to see if we're able, where the players, like in this example, right, Ripper going in with his Madeline Nika, to me this is just wasteful, right? Why do I say that? Because he's going in, and then look at how much damage his supporting cast was able to do. Pretty much nothing, right? If you're going to go in and tank, you have to time it out where when you're going in, the ranged is going in, right? Even to an extent where maybe you let the ranged hit first, and then you go ahead and send the tank in, you know, where basically you time it out where you're both going, but the tank hits maybe a second later, right, after the range is already engaging, right? Unless you're really good at timing out and everyone moving together, which really, in my opinion, truly requires for everyone to be on voice and as many players as possible, right? Or at least knowing the game plan ahead of time. I think a lot of what we typically see in these large-scale battles, again, there's been a few like quality highlight moments, but for the most part, a lot of what we're seeing is, right, no one from any of the sides of the alliances are in voice for the most part consistently. And we're not seeing alliances, you know, provide quality instruction or just appropriate instruction beforehand, where you have on-field, you know, generals or captains, and, you know, they're maybe associating, well, hey, when this emoji or reaction is used, we're going to do this, right? Those types of things where, and then you give kind of good tips on when to engage, when to disengage, and then everyone has a good understanding of that. That level, right, which to me is just the next level, right? I don't believe that's the highest level. To me, that's just basic. Like, that's you just kind of getting your foundation down. We haven't really truly seen that yet, right? And along with something else you probably heard me say, where we haven't even seen, you know, at least to my knowledge, I haven't seen where, you know, someone sent me a screenshot of like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 players in a voice call from an alliance that are just all fighting, right? Or maybe you have 2 groups of 50 or 4 groups of 25, whatever it may be, right? I haven't seen that yet. And again, that's why I say I love watching the PvP in CoD, even though, yes, we are still at a pretty infantile stage of the kind of strategic quality that, and the tactical quality that we can get to, and I know we can get to. We're just not there yet. But it's, again, I love watching it for the range play. I like being able to talk about comms. I like being able to talk about artifact skill usage. You know, why are we seeing certain things happen the way we are, right? Again, for me, I still find it enjoyable and fun to watch, even though, you know, we are still progressing and working our way up. So let's do this for you guys now. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit lay of the land and see how things are going. So you might remember that some of these flags have been disconnected, right, from what we've seen. There is nothing really happening over here. I just checked this a minute or two ago, so there's nothing really happening here on the PoS front. Obviously, they've lost this extending. I don't know what... Oh, wow. Oh, yes, this is, you see, they haven't disconnected anything here yet. This is me, man. This is something I'm talking about where I would have loved for them to try and do something up here, right? You have... Oh, sorry, this is PWA. So they might not be able to do anything, I think, yeah. So the only opportunity really here would be for PoS to maybe disconnect from here, right? That could be something. But if they do that, they would have to try and disconnect from here, and they'd also have to get up here, right? So you have to kind of think about the way that things are flagging out, especially when you do this kind of thing. You basically make a circle, right? You kind of have to disconnect at 2 points in order for that to happen. So the northern route's probably a little harder. I mean, obviously, if PoS is able to disconnect somewhere like here, that could be a little bit more doable. But TA's kind of done this good job of just kind of extending outwards, right? And this, if you think about it, when it comes to territory planning, is not a bad move, right? You're basically kind of like doing figure eights, right, so to speak, that you're doing to set up multiple connection points, meaning that your opponents have to now disconnect multiple points in order to really make an impact on your flag disconnects. This actually can delay and buy you time in war in general when you consider it. And now you have, OFUX and looks like PoS pushing. And again, we're going to see here, right, because you have PoS over here and you have NT45. GRZ, TA's up here now. GRZ's right here. It looks like GRZ's trying to build a fort so that way they can start moving south by southeast. So yeah, look, they are doing that right now. They got an hour and a half left on this fort currently. And then they'll be able to hopefully do something there as far as starting to move a little farther south. We're going to see what happens here, man, with NT45 because, again, man, they're kind of, cut off if you really think about it, right? They have no northern territory. They're basically confined to this little area here. Once GRZ gets that up, if no one's going to be able to do anything, then, they're just going to move down south. I don't know, obviously, what the opportunity is for PoS. Again, man, there's a very good chance that, based on how things are going here, right, and PoS kind of has two sides, but now you can argue they're kind of blocked in this corner over here. So, kind of need to start making some of those money plays, happen kind of sooner or later here, right? Look, they have territory that connects, but nothing's happening here. Nothing is building out that way, right? So then we have to kind of go south to look at where they're condensed, right? So here they are, but no one's pushing on the flags, it looks like. I don't know if there's any NT45. Yes, so see now. So no one's really pushing there anymore. Maybe there was a skirmish, a little while ago. But nothing's happening. It looks like a flag is being built there from PoS. And I don't know what... Oh, I see. TH is kind of going around and destroying some flags now. And then obviously, kind of the biggish fight, right, that's happening. Oh, wow. Did they just do like a big engage and we missed it? Probably. Oh, they are. Wow. They are engaging hard. Ujuni's here. Nice, man. Okay, so we're catching a little bit-ish of it. And see, good example right here, right? Immortal, just moving maybe a little bit too far back in that situation. These players kind of hitting from ranged. I would probably move one of these, though, right? Just so you're not kind of stacked on top of each other and taking any AoE damage. Oh, Leo coming out with the Shadow Games. I look like I get hit for a bit. Russia running away. And this is the thing, man. Like, my thing is, like, dude, just commit, right? If your troop is already that low, just, and you're that low, then at that point, just commit fully. Especially if you've already kind of overextended that much. And what's crazy is it doesn't look like they have a lot, right, as far as number of legions. And obviously there's a pretty decent heads-up play here from some of the TA guys, right? Obviously they're online, so you can tell, right? They're basically kind of going from transitional build to battle, build to battle, battle to build. And again, it is a good way to play it out. Yeah, at least with just some of these skirmishes, man, like I said, I think part of it is just kind of the tactical play. Like in this situation, why are you running in there by yourself? That to me, that's just free kills, right? Now you're getting hit from multiple people, kind of turning into a 2-3-on-1. You're just taking damage for no reason, right? Especially if you're free to play. Sometimes it can be smart to almost let someone who's stronger than you kind of engage first. Why? Because they'll soak and they'll sustain more damage. And then from there, ooh, dude, nice back-to-back shadow game there. There's our boy Hart, right? Discord bot, what's up, Hart? And then we got Hazel kind of going back and forth. This actually would have been a cool fight just to see how that played out, right? If Azumagi, it could have maybe been a stalemate. That was actually pretty cool to see. Dude, big shadow games. Time bomb going out there for Jerry, getting put on Hermosa. Dude, nice. In this situation, remember, when you get time bomb put on you, you got to make sure that you are moving away, right? You don't want to move towards other units. It's just unnecessary damage that you're putting on. Looks like Bay threw another one. Ooh, was that a Shadow Games or was that another time bomb? Dude, wow, this time bomb's going to hit. Ooh, 2. Ooh, nice. And this is the thing you got to be wary of, right? When you see multiple negatives that are going down like that, right? You just don't want to be stacked on top of each other, right? Because the system, the way the mechanics work is that can happen. So you can have one troop here, a troop here, a troop here, a troop here, a troop here. You could have 20 troops right on top of each other. So you just have to be careful, right? And this is one of the things we often talk about, right? Is that you want to make sure you're spreading out, right? So in this situation, if they want to go and attack this, you would typically spread like this, right? This is how you would do it. You would kind of make moon shapes or U's, right? So that way you're able to stay at max range while you're doing damage and you're spreading yourselves out enough to where you're reducing the amount of AoE damage that can be taken on you. They got 19 seconds on this. This is going to get destroyed. But man, this is pretty cool. So like a good example here, right? You're kind of all in this line, spread out, right? And what's funny is, did I say this almost every video, right? But I also understand that organizing that within any alliance is not as easy as it sounds. It is the ideal way to approach because you're reducing, like we talk about, right, the amount of AoE damage that can be inflicted on you, and you're maximizing the amount of damage you're going to be able to output on your opponents. Why? Because you'll typically sustain and last longer. Ooh, that was a good time bomb, right? Hitting its max 3. That was great. Oh, dude, I like the range slow being thrown out there. Nice. So TA basically accomplished their mission, did what they needed to. I wonder if they're going to go for that. Like, what is the play there? That's a PoS flag, right? Because they technically could go hit this flag. So I wonder, maybe we'll just see some open field play here for a little bit, which wouldn't be that bad. Quad T's like, guys, don't worry, I got it. Let me rock this Bakshi Emrys build. Yeah, and this is just another good example, right? I'm just not a fan of wasting units and wasting resources, right? Like, again, why is Hazel going up here? Why is Quad T going and attacking? It just doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like, sure, okay, right, that was a great Shadow Games. You got, basically hit a kind of a 3-for-1, but if you're not making any big boy plays, right, or big kid plays on maximizing on that, then it's not really the most beneficial thing to do, in my opinion. It is looking like we are pretty set, right? I don't know if there's going to be any more fighting that's happening right now. We'll have to see what TA decides to do. And it looks like for the most part, OFUX players are probably either regrouping or, going back a bit. Doesn't seem like there's too many out in the field. So yeah, man, that is the lay of the land, right? State of affairs for what's happening in SS1-1. Right, again, still probably going to be more fighting over the next couple days, right, at least until they wait for the next season to hit. And TA and GRZ are definitely putting in, right, some more continued work when it comes to advancing a little bit more, right, against PoS, NT45, and OFUX, where they are, right, we have seen them losing a little bit of ground here. I mean, again, they're still fighting, and we'll have to see how things go. I'm curious what the numbers are. Let's take a quick look at that. So let's look at what some of the player powers are. Oh, dude, wow. So Midas going hard here. And, wow, this is intense, man. I wonder if Midas could be, like, the game changer here, to me, in my opinion, right? Because I think this is now the highest I think we've seen a player past 72 mil. Go still at 60. Junie 56. Muzza 56. Ripper getting closer to number 5. I mean, again, Ninja, right? Again, we know Boogie hasn't spent that much money. I know when I spoke to him, it was, I'm just kind of chilling right now, and he really hasn't moved from kind of that 37 to 40 mil range too much. I mean, we'll have to see what it plays out, but Ninja could be scooting in on that number 8 spot, Ripper on the number 5, and then now you got 3 people in the top 8, right? That's not bad. Bakunawa, right? Good chance of passing Anya, right? If that happens, now you got 4 people in the top 10, right? So the numbers are actually looking a little bit better. Even Immortal, right? Coming up on Thing. I mean, you have an opportunity. I mean, that could be, 5 in the top 12? Excuse me. But that's actually something to look forward to. Aiden's close here. That could be 6 of the top 15. I mean, yeah, dude, they're making plays. Let's look at personal merits. How we doing? This is actually pretty cool, dude. Ghost, Jamie, and Midas, all within what, 650k merits? This is actually pretty cool to see, right? And you got Enoch, 6.6, still good. Ripper's out there fighting. Lynn. Yeah, man, I mean, these are like the strongest fighters, right? Like the people that, well, strongest / most people that are doing the most PvP right now. But yeah, man, dude, that is not bad. Let's look at Alliance Power. How are we doing here? So this is pretty intense, right? We saw them at, what, 3.922? Now 3.74, 3.75. So you're looking at, what, 180 million? Give or take. You still got OFUX, PoS, NT45 still kind of in that 2.1, 2.3, 2.4 mil range. Wow, so not bad. Let's look at Alliance Merits. How we doing? Dude, OFUX is gaining right now. I mean, this I think tells you a lot, right? When you're looking at, when you're looking at the numbers and you see, right? I mean, obviously TAs there were 341, but you got 212, 170, 159, right? GRZ probably trying to get in a little bit there too as well. I mean, yeah, man. Hopefully we'll see some more continued fighting. All right, guys and girls, of course. With that being said, man, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, right? If you're in SS1-1, right, how's the lay of the land going, right? How do you feel about the fight and the war that's been happening so far? And again, if you're an onlooker, right, are you enjoying, right, the PvP content, being able to kind of enjoy watching how the first Merge Kingdom is fighting, especially for moments that we're able to capture? Let me know anything and everything in the comments down below. That's going to be it for me. As always, until next time, I'll catch you later.